Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be sharing with you guys how I plan out the second half of my school year being on a year-round homeschooling schedule. It's taken me a few years to kind of iron out a system that works well for my family, and so today I am just going to be sharing with you kind of how I do things as far as scheduling goes, because I've learned a thing or two along the way. Maybe it'll help you, maybe you've already got a great system in place, but this is going to be how I did it and what I did this year that I feel like really helped me as far as being on a year-round schedule and figuring out things. So we're just gonna chat about that. I didn't bring up like my planner or anything like that. I'm just gonna kind of share with you guys what I did. All right, so the first thing to know is that we year-round homeschool. So that means by definition that I would start a school year and wrap up a school year kind of in the same time frame. Now, for the past 2 years, I've attempted that, and every year comes about the end of April, beginning of May, and we're done. We're done early. I usually, well, actually last year I started my school year the first week of June, and upon my recalculation this year, we would have been done in April if we had continued on not taking any breaks. So that to me is not year-round schooling. I should be finishing kind of near when I started. So that's the first thing to understand. So last June, when we started our school year, when I start a new school year, meaning we get new materials, we've finished up our curriculum, I like to make sure that that first chunk of the school year, I've got at least a solid 5 to 6 weeks without taking any week breaks or anything like that. So I always choose to start my school year when I'm able to start it off and not stop for about 5 to 6 weeks. That is really important for me to get my kids familiar with the routine that we're doing again, to get them accustomed to their new curriculum if any of them are a little bit different. And I feel like if I were to take a break shortly after starting, it wouldn't be beneficial for me or for them. So that's the first thing I do, is I make sure when I'm going to start my school year, I've got a solid 5 to 6 weeks before we take a break. So last year we started the first Monday of June, and when I planned my school year, we had finished the previous school year in May. So I like to have a solid 5 to 6 weeks off between one school year ending and another school year starting. So that's important to know. That just works really well for me because I like to clean everything out. I like to throw away things. I like to reorganize our schoolroom. I like to buy all of my curriculum. I like to look through all of my curriculum, and these things take time. So for me, it's really important to have about 6 weeks in between grade levels. So last year we finished at the beginning of May, and then I started this school year the beginning of June. So I had about 5 weeks there, and I intend to do that again. So when I was planning this school year, I only planned and plotted our breaks, our time off, up until Christmas. And I didn't go beyond Christmas because I wanted to see where we were at. Maybe we were gonna do more. Maybe we were gonna do a little bit less. And so I find it really beneficial to plan only the first half of the year, as far as we're gonna go to Disneyland this week. We're gonna take a week off here. We're gonna, I only plan it up until December. So when January rolled around, I had to basically recalibrate. I had to see, where are we? We're on lesson number whatever in history. We're on lesson number whatever in language arts. Where are we? I knew how many weeks we had done, but how many more weeks was it going to require in order to finish the curriculum? And then also knowing, okay, now it's January, now we're probably not going to take any breaks until kind of March timeframe. So I was able to see. So when I sat down and looked at what lesson we were on, because we always just do the next lesson on the next day. I don't plan out like lesson number on this day, lesson number on this day. I don't do that because if somebody gets sick, then everything's messed up and you have to start over from scratch. So we always just go to the next lesson on the next day. So I had to sit down and see where all my kids were, because my younger ones using like the Good and the Beautiful Language Arts might not be on lesson number 100 like their older sister was, because they were all moving at their own paces. So I had to sit down and I had to see, okay, she has 20 lessons left in her book. She has 35 lessons in her book, and I had to see where we were at. And then what I did was divide those number of lessons by 4, because that's how many days a week we school. And then that would give me an idea of how many weeks I had left before those books were completed. Now, I know somebody's going to say, was everything going to finish on the same exact time? No. Certain pieces we were going to wrap up, and that kind of always happens to me, and it's fine. So you just work on whatever you've got left, basically. So as the year winds down, their load lightens, and it's kind of a natural like wind down time. So I actually think it works out pretty well. So once I did that in January and I looked at how many weeks it was going to take us to finish those pieces of curriculum, we were looking at being done in April again. And I did not want that to happen again for a couple of reasons. One, we're moving and I wanted to be able to take time off to move and really decorate and get really set up. And then 2, I just didn't want to take our long break in April. I would much rather it be in May. So what that indicated to me was I needed to slow my roll a little bit, and it actually gave me such a peace, and I really feel like it was a blessing from the Lord, because we're getting ready to move, and homeschooling and moving can be kind of stressful, but now I've got total peace of mind because I know that we are a-okay when it comes to staying on track. And on track to me is just in my mind. So again, I predict that we will be done definitely around May, the beginning of May. So what we will do then is we will take May until the beginning of June, and we will start our new school year the first week of June. And the reason why I'm doing that is because we're going to be traveling pretty much the whole month of July. And like I said, I like to have a solid chunk of time. So I find it really beneficial to not plan out an entire year at once. I kind of do the beginning of the year and then the next half of the year, because as the year progresses, summer travel plans get planned, church camp dates come out, different things like that, and we're able to work school around those things so that we can still start our school year, be on a year-round schedule, so we've got the freedom of year-round homeschooling because it is really amazing for me. But then also know, okay, we're gonna school all of June so that we can be off pretty much all of July and travel. And so that's what I did. I looked at it in January, looked at the lessons, calculated the weeks, and then realized we were going to be done really soon again. So I was able to say, okay, when we move, we can take 2 weeks off and it's not a big deal. And we're still going to be done around May. So that is how I did kind of my mid-year recalculation and schedule. If you do anything similar, let me know down below. And if you know when you're going to be done with your school year, I would love to hear that down below. We can celebrate that we've all almost made it another homeschooling year. It's so exciting. No matter how many years you've been at this, the sense of accomplishment that you get when you finish a school year is, I think for the mom or the teacher, it's equal to the kids as well. So I'm really excited. But I just wanted to share that with you guys, kind of how I do that. And hopefully it helps you unless you've already got a great system yourself. If you've got tips, you know, always post them down below. We're not above learning things here on this channel and in this community. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video really soon. Bye guys.